All right, Chris, man, it's another week, another pod, and today I got a joke for you, man. I got a joke. It's
Okay.
it's not well,
Is it one of
it's
those cheesy ones?
I don't know. You be the judge of that.
Okay.
It's kind of a question, but it's also kind of a statement. So it's a statement. You know what I'm saying? And but it requires your participation. You know what I'm saying? So are you ready?
Let's try it.
All right, man. Knock knock.
Who's there?
M Night.
M. Night who?
M. Night done bamboozled us into watching this movie, man. Oh my gosh. Today we're going to be talking about Knock at the Cabin. M. Night Shyamalan's, Shyamalan's newest movie. And yeah, bruh.
You got bamboozled?
I got bamboozled, man. I had all this hype going into that joint, thinking it's like, you know, it's going to be like next level, bruh. It wasn't like Nope bamboozlement, because Nope still had like elements in there that was like, oh, this is next level type thing. This one, it ain't do nothing for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It didn't really do nothing for me. Like, I'm starting to realize, bro, like, wait, before I get into my rant, welcome back to the Why I'm Geek show, episode 83. And yeah, man. What's up, Chris? I gotta get this off.
I'm doing
though.
good. I like what you're doing. You're on a roll already. I was like, oh, he ain't feeling it.
I'm geek because I feel like that was a good knock joke. But this movie, like, Nope still had some things that was like, you know, fundamentally new in it. But with this movie, it was like the trailer like literally showed you everything. There was no twist, there was no nothing. And I'm not gonna say I left upset, like, because like the movie still like looks good, you know, and I'm starting to realize, like, going into these movies, like, a lot of these joints is not, from a visual standpoint, it's not gonna be bad. Like that, those days is over with, you know what I'm saying? So
Like
it's gonna have to come down to like, all right, what is the legit content, you know? And I'm gonna get in my ChrisyLite bag and start giving stuff fours, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what sometimes that's just what it is, you know? And it sucks because it's like, dang, I ain't trying to be mean like that, but this one opened my eyes, you know what I'm saying? But quick thoughts. What did you think before we just continue to go crazy?
M. Night Shyamalan, he has done some movies that I would say are quite amazing. Some of the best movies that are so enjoyable to go back to. And even as a kid, when I watched Signs as a kid and I watched The Village as a kid, I love those movies. And some people will hate on those movies, but this man is known to have hit or misses all the time.
Mm.
And he had a little bit of resurgence lately. And I think the last M. Night movie I saw was and it was about like
Oh,
a beach
yeah.
and people are rapidly aging.
I really like that. I didn't see
You
it.
did? That's good.
I didn't see it, but I was kind of scared. But
Yeah.
I like I watched videos on it. I was like, oh, that's a really cool concept.
But he is exactly that. It's a cool concept. You
Yeah.
don't know what you're getting into, and it's either going to be a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
So, could I see people liking this? I could. For me, it didn't do a single thing for me. I sat there and was kind of a little bored.
Yeah.
The only thing I can really say I enjoyed was uh the acting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I just kind of felt like I did not go to the movies on when we go see it Saturday. I did not
Yeah.
see a good Saturday movie, and I can understand if people really like it, but this movie is just so straightforward
Mm-hmm.
that it loses my interest. Like, as it kept going on, it just felt like it hit the same elements again and again and again, and it ended. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is not normal M. Night Shyamalan. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he just wanted to do a straightforward movie, and some people really could like that a lot. Here's the story, here's this awkward situation, bam, that's the movie. For me, no, it's not for me.
It's giving
So,
Lifetime, bro. Like that's what it felt like.
wow.
Like I just knew what was gonna happen from the beginning, and it didn't take much. Like I think my favorite part of it was Batista, because I just
100%.
yeah, like him in combination like with like how calm his character was. You could tell he worked in schools. How calm his character was in combination with like just the music and um just the just like how the can't think of it. The camera was moving as well. Like it had the elements of like something scary and something like thriller esque, but it was more of like a mind bendy type of movie more than anything. Um, because it was like youngest was in danger, right? But it's like at the same time I never really was interested in that. Like I was just like, bro, we're still in this cabin, you know? And regardless of like the flashbacks or, you know, when we weren't there and we saw some of the stuff happening across the world, you were sitting there pondering like, okay, is this real or is this, you know, just something that was happening anyway? Um, it was just like that was literally it, you know. But it wasn't to the point where I was like, dang, I need to know like what is going on. You know, there wasn't like no overall like scheme or plot that they, you know, I was expecting to happen. It just they never gave it to us, you know. And then at the end, it was like, all right, tie up loose ends and let's go home type thing, and we just keep on going throughout our day. Like, um, it was definitely matinee like worthy. You know what I'm
Yeah, that
saying?
a perfect movie where you don't know. He is the perfect director. You have
Yeah.
to go see his movies in matinee because you just do not know what you're gonna expect.
hmm Really streaming. Like, I would
Yeah.
recommend you seeing this streaming. I wouldn't go to the movies and see this, to be honest, because it's like even though we saw it in like the little extreme version of it, it was like there's nothing extreme happening. I mean, people died, but it was like without giving too much away. It was like it was I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it because that makes gives you even more reason to not really want to watch it because it's like you know what's gonna happen, right? Because the movie is all about sacrifices, right? So obviously, if the main couple doesn't want to make a sacrifice, somebody gonna have to pay. You know, you put one and one together, you get two. You know what I'm saying? But when it should be 1+1=3, because it's M Night Shyamalan, and we ain't get that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't get that. Um, but you know, what are some things that you did like about it, if any, before? Because I know we just went in, but
I like the premise a lot. I just feel
mhm,
like M. Night could have thrown in a lot more flavor to the building the tension of them being trapped in this cabin with 4 strangers arriving to their door. Like, I
yeah,
just feel like this movie, once they're put with this ultimatum that you're gonna have to sacrifice someone to potentially stop the apocalypse, and you
mhm,
don't know what's happening, if it's real, if it's not. I just kind of felt like they were already caught. They're not doing anything to you, and all the tension just evaporated the movie.
yeah,
That was just for me.
mhm,
And they were showing like different stuff happening, trying to convince them. But I'm just kind of I just felt no tension because they done got caught.
right,
There is no like back and forth between like the family itself where they're like breaking apart or
yeah,
questioning it. A lot of the movie, the family's on the family side. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, so for me, I just wasn't too worried throughout the whole movie.
yeah,
And as the events were unfolding, you don't really know 100%. So it's
mhm,
just kind of like I don't know, it kinda just left me being like, I'm outside of the loop in this whole situation. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It it's I feel like it's more than that though. I feel like it's more like I don't I don't know what's happening, but I also don't care anymore. Like it got to the point where it's like I don't feel like that everybody's gonna die, but even if they do, it's just like all right, now I can go about my day type thing in the movie. Like it wasn't even like because the only person I really cared about in that movie was um the little girl and Batista because Batista
Mm.
was so good. Like his character was so good, and then the little girl, like, uh, you just don't want to see a little girl like die in a like essentially like if it's got to be somebody, just not them two type thing. But it was like the rest of the characters, just like I didn't really get no connection, have no real connection with. And I feel like that's one thing that, could have made the movie better if like, it wasn't just, all right, let's just, go to this cabin and convince them. Like, let's bring some evidence. Let's like, you know, y'all all have these visions, right? Like, y'all all had these drawings and stuff that y'all was doing. Bring the drawings. Like, come on, bro. Like, do something or show a flashback of like while you're, explaining to us what those like sensations and feelings were like, so that we can get the feel the true gravity of the situation. It was all telling, no show,
Yeah,
and it's
the
just like,
convincing was so trash that it made it really made it feel like the family is not getting convinced. Like,
yeah,
you got them captured, and this
hmm
is y'all convincing?
right,
And I can understand someone liking it, showing, like, the 2 dads. One
hmm
is more um,
rational,
like humans are trash, the other one's more compassionate type thing.
yeah,
And what the humans are trash one is more of like, uh, all this is fake, blah blah blah. You're trying. This is all some sort of game. There's nothing deeper than this. You're targeting us,
hmm
type thing. And the other one is like, well, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear him out, but he's concussed. But he's
yeah,
trying to listen, try to understand, trying to give him a chance. And I just felt like, even if you thought, even if you think it's speaking on, like, all 4 of the people represent parts of humanity, and then the 2 people deciding are like dual sides of humanity,
hmm
uh, like sacrificing yourself for the greater good type of thing. Because you could deep dive into it a lot. I
yeah,
just feel like it's more of they threw it on the board, and then when they came up with the script, the tension of the movie just wasn't there. The
hmm
Maybe the theme or the idea is there.
yeah. The
I just
music was going off like it was there, but it was I never really felt it. I was like, okay,
Yeah, and I feel like if that's what they wanted to do and it be like this really big think piece, I feel
yeah,
like the 4 characters needed to have more motivation. Like, Redmond needed to have like a little bit more, um trying to show how humanity is horrible, because
yeah,
he was the dude at the bar type thing.
right,
And then like the nurse being like this healing, compassionate person caring for people. I just feel like it's all this like subtlety stuff, and it's
yeah,
so small. And even what's his name, Batista,
hmm
uh um
Leonard,
Leonard, his character is all nice and calm demeanor, and
yeah,
just trying to like guide them through this difficult choice. But
hmm
it just constantly felt like, I just have you trapped. Hi, please believe me. All right.
yeah,
It's not working. Hi, please believe me. And I
yeah,
just feel like they each should have had a limelight kind of showing how great humanity is, and this is why we should, you guys should kill your, like, one of you should kill each other so we can
yeah,
live. Like, even Redmond should be like, I'm a bad person. I'm horrible. Blah 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 blah. I probably don't deserve to live, but there ain't no way you can tell me being a bad person means like everybody else died. Like, I just felt
yeah.
like there was not good convincing elements to each character, and it was just this back and forth of,
It's a loop, bro.
we don't believe you, and we're sticking with the family. And
Yeah,
and it just lost me. It just completely lost me.
Even if you don't want to go on the, antagonist side of things, like you could have had the family ask more questions. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, they one of them, I forgot which one it was, like what their name was, but one of the dads was like, um, this happens all the time, like chat rooms of people like
Yeah.
getting brainwashed and things like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought like we was gonna get like a cut to like the message board and like seeing all those things that he was talking about, but we never really got those things. And then the concussion made didn't make the movie better. Like
It
if
didn't.
if 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 it happened earlier, like as far as like his change in belief of like, oh, I think they're telling the truth, I saw something, and not in the last 5 minutes of the movie when everybody is basically dead, like that would have been a lot more interesting to see those two, you know basically go at it, but like not willing to, you know what I'm saying? Because the whole point is like, they can't kill themselves, so one of
Yeah.
them has to do it. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, and I did like the ending where like when he finally did have this moment of clarity, quote unquote
Yeah.
clarity, right? Like he's had visions of their daughter growing up and them having a life together type thing, and I was like, okay, like I like that, but we needed more of that, you know, and
And you hit something that I didn't even think of. Like when he got that concussion,
mhm,
you got I felt like because they decided to do this whole "well, we're captured" bit, that the concussed dad should have just been like, "Let's hear them out. Let's." He was just more of like, "Well, I'm concussed, so I'm just gonna listen."
they ain't had nothing to say though. That's my whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
if they had something to say, they would have said it, and like they would only give their, last spiel before they die, essentially. Like it was just like this is it, and it wasn't even believable. Like when they said it,
yeah,
even if it did, if even if it was true, it was like I don't even know why you would care at this point because it's like there's like you said, there's little nuggets in there that have the potential to do something, but because there's no like meat on the bone, like
yeah.
there's nothing for me to grab onto. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess, like that would be
Like, it
nice.
needs more meat. It just needs more
Yeah.
meat to everyone's arguments to make it better. And I
Hmm.
guess there is this little bit in the movie where it's sort of questioning, like, how much does it take for to make you believe in something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely spread out through a lot of the characters, even that echo chamber stuff, the whole
Hmm.
virus stuff. Like,
Hmm.
what would it take to convince a person to go along with something as ridiculous as you gotta kill your significant other?
All right.
And I just feel like, boom, that's a good idea. He wrote it down. And then they crafted the movie, and it's like that we didn't really iron out that. We didn't
Yeah.
put the meat around that statement that we wrote on the board, but they're like, hey, it's pretty cool. They're in a cabin and they're running around. They got these cool weapons and
Right.
this guy's seeing visions.
Right.
And even like the events that happen in the movie,
Hmm.
it's such a brief thing that you are like, "Are we seeing this live?"
Yeah.
Like, there was a moment where even the perpetrators were confused, like, "This is not what we saw, blah, blah, blah." They shoulda had that every
Hmm.
single time. Every single time something happened
Yeah.
that wasn't exactly like their vision,
Yeah.
or they're remembering it just a little bit differently, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my vision wasn't really on the beach," or blah, 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 or I saw lava, or just I'm just imagining how it would have been a little bit more confusing, so then I felt in the theater, well, maybe they're wrong, or maybe the family's right. Maybe the family's just completely ignoring them.
Hmm.
Like, it just needed more tension where I truly didn't believe any side, but in this movie, I was just like, "This convincing sucks so much. How why would they believe you?"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's like even when they did have those moments where it's like, oh, I see the rocks. Those are the exact things I saw. Like the only time that happened was with the tsunami. No other moment where they like, oh, this is like, well, I guess Batista did have that moment where he was saying exactly what that woman was saying, but that was like
Oh,
the only two, for real,
yeah.
you know, and
The
it's
sky
like,
will fall like glass or something like
yeah,
that.
and that's when I kind of started believing. I was like, okay, maybe this thing is real type thing. But prior to that, even uh, with the whole tsunami thing, like you can't really predict that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we got to see like the moment that they described in like I knew once the visions got so bad I had to go, and it was like I was going to work today, but I was like, no, it's happening right now. I have to go. And then seeing them, casually meet up and having discussions, because for me, what would have made this whole thing like so much better was to sow the seed of doubt within them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Within the
yes.
antagonist in this movie, because then that would have made the protagonist like a little bit more like, oh, we might get out of this thing type of
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, bro, even if we don't get that, make the escape attempt like way more like extravagant, because it's
Yeah.
literally in the trailer. Like that it's literally in the trailer. The trailer to movie ratio was trash,
It's 100%.
you know?
It's 100%.
And it's just like so many things that like could have made this thing dope, because it's like you said, like the whole concept of it is cool, of like not cool, but interesting in the sense of like what it
Sacrifices,
would take.
choices, what would it take?
Yeah, what would it
Leap of
take?
faith.
Right. And even whenever like it's all said and done, they are still not sure if like what they did is what caused everything to kind of stop.
Yeah.
Like they could have this belief, but like you still gotta go home and tell your in-laws that you killed your husband to save
Yeah.
the apocalypse. And it's just like this kid is now scarred for the rest of her life.
Yep.
And it's like the movie ends and it's just like bam, like what did I just watch? You know, it's bad, bro. It's bad.
It was just not for me.
Yeah.
And I would love I'm glad people do like it a lot. I just feel like M. Night missed on this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I prefer a lot of his other ones compared to this.
This is my first M Night movie that I can recall, and
He's a big twist guy. He's
yeah,
a
and
big
that's what
twist
I
guy.
was that's what I was expecting. But it feels more so like you know, like
A different take on it for sure.
yeah, but it's like it's like that meme of I forgot who it was. It might have been either Westbrook or uh D Wade. I forgot who it was, but basically the meme was like, did you guys win? Did the other team win this game, or did you guys lose it? Like it feels like that,
Yeah.
where it's like a double negative, and it's just like, dang, this could have been good. It had all the makes of being good, but they just didn't do it right.
Yeah. It's kind of like they made some chicken, didn't season it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of needed the extra seasoning on this for me to really like it. It
Hmm.
doesn't take me a lot. It doesn't take a lot for me to like a thriller, confusing concept type
Hmm.
movie. But I honestly sat there in that theater, kind of bored, and wishing more stuff would happen with the four intruders,
Yeah.
wishing more confusion would happen.
Hmm.
And I just feel like I've seen way better versions of this type of story, this type of event.
Hmm.
And M. Night Shyamalan movies have way, way better shocks than this one. So
Yeah.
not for me, and that's how I'll leave it at. Just not one for me.
So just ballpark a score for us, man. Ballpark a score. What are you giving? I'm waiting for this one. I'm waiting. I need to hear it.
Man, I'm gonna go with a 3.
Oh,
It was
dang.
close to being a 4 for me. It's close to being a 4 for me.
Being close to a 4 is crazy work.
Yeah, it's close to a 4. I'm gonna go 3. I'm not watching
Uh,
it again.
nah.
I haven't sat in the theater and did not enjoy my Saturday in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just can't help that, like, I enjoyed even dumber movies like Old more than than this one. And it
Oh,
sucks
seemed
because
crazy.
uh Leonard was crazy. He was
Yeah.
so good. He had really good scenes. It
He
was
gave
just
him 60.
yeah, it was
60
just
ball.
overall I just really felt a lot of the characters could have brought more that made this movie feel like uh, a joyride,
Yeah.
and I didn't get that. I just kind of got this is the plot, this is the event, and this is the end. And
Mm-hmm.
those types of movies just probably don't do it for me. So I'm gonna give it a 3. How you feeling about this one, G?
I'm gonna give it straight up 5. Straight
Okay.
up 5. Cause I don't think I don't think it's a bad movie, like, period, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a good movie to go see in theaters. Like, I feel like if I saw this like on streaming, like on HBO or whatever, and like I finally got to see it, like I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't watch that in theaters. That would have been my reaction to it, pretty much.
It's
Like,
kind of like makes you think like it's not even a theater movie.
yeah,
To
exactly,
me, like I said, to me, because I
exactly.
mean, I watched The Menu on streaming
That's
services, and
literally what I was gonna say,
I thought that one was so much more enjoyable that if I saw it in theaters, I would have walked out and been like, "Hey, I enjoyed myself." I did
man.
not get that feeling with this. So
You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was literally gonna say, like, I watched Menu, and I loved that movie. Like, I
nice.
really liked it, and it was more so cause like I heard it was good, and you told me that it was like really crazy, and I didn't believe you. I was like, man, it's not gonna
Yeah,
be crazy, and I didn't know what I was watching either. I didn't know it was supposed to be like a scary movie. I thought it was something
yeah.
completely different, so it was like a good surprise. And I was like, man, if I seen that in theaters, I would be like, oh yeah, that's a theater movie right there.
And I just can't, in my mind, separate the difference between The Menu and this movie, where I felt more intrigued
Hmm.
like during like the main part of the movie. I'm just sitting there like, okay,
Yeah,
what's gonna happen next? Why are we here now? In this one, I kind of just did not care. I was like, y'all
yeah,
trapped. Y'all in like
right, right. Be-
what is they're doing? They're just trying to convince you multiple times.
mhm.
Eh,
Because literally in the menu too, like it all basically takes place in one room.
yeah.
You know, just like with the cabin, the knock at the
Knock at the
cabin,
cabin.
and I'm like, bro, what was they
Like
thinking?
there's something with the tension of like one character being like, this dude sucks, the other one
Yeah.
saying like, oh, I love him, other person saying like, oh, I deserve to be here. There's just
Hmm.
it was missing in this movie, and that's why I'm gonna have to stay with the 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rewatch The Menu. How about that?
Okay, okay, I respect it. I respect it. But that's pretty much all I got on that movie. I didn't even really take notes for it for real, because it was just like it was a big old, like, it was just like there, like I saw it, and I feel like I knew the conversation would get where it needed to go, so I wasn't really tripping on it. But before we do get out of here, um, we gotta do a little Last of Us update, because it's been a couple weeks since we done talked about it. Um, 'Cause we ain't want to kill y'all like how we did with She-Hulk. We were talking about that
We'll be
job once
back for
every
season
week.
2. No.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that one. But I did want to give a little update on it, because the new episode dropped yesterday. Um, and it's finally there. Like, we're finally in The Last of Us, and
Ooh.
I'm excited because it's not even about like what's going on. it's just like Joel and Ellie are becoming really Joel and Ellie. You know, like what did you think about like the last few episodes? Because like the last week's episode was like about Bill and Frank, and
Mhm.
I really liked it, but it was like now I feel like with this episode, I was like, okay, now we're really in the mix of like going on this journey, you know?
I I definitely loved last week's episode. I personally thought, wow, this show has way more to offer than I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
To be like a mini filler type thing
Hmm.
in this world was 1,000 times better than what they did in the game. And I just was blown away. I was so happy it was really long too. I think it was like an hour,
Yeah.
15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I that entire me learning about what's his name?
Frank or Bill.
Frank and Bill.
Yeah. Bill and Frank.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Built on top of the game. Built like 1,000 times built onto the game.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so excited for the future. This last episode, episode 4, it definitely came down a little bit for me. But
Hmm.
like you said, Ellie and Joel are getting there.
Yeah.
And there's just something here.
Hmm.
And even though this is another episode, main storyline, where it's this the scenes are very close to the game.
Yeah.
Um, it is reminding me of the game again.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's still some intrigue, still some excitement, and it just does translate really well to TV.
Hmm.
So while episode 4 did come down for me, this is gonna be a good show.
Yeah.
It, it's here. I don't know how popular it's gonna get. I think it's gonna be pretty popular though.
Yeah. I'm still not at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, The Last of Us is coming out today. Like I'm not there, but I'm still excited to watch it every week. And I feel like episode this last week's episode said a lot to me because that's what the opportunity that we have with this show is that you can go in on things that you weren't really viable in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you're not going to be able to go through and watch somebody's whole life
yeah.
with somebody else in a video game without like losing everybody's attention span. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill
And you
had
said that in previous podcasts.
Yeah, and Bill had his did still get his moment of like, showing that he can go crazy with not only just like, his doomsday prepper ways, but also like when, people come with the smoke type beat. So, even though we didn't get to, see them progress on with Joel and Ellie like in the game, he still had that moment in the actual like show in the midst of. And I really liked that adaptation because when like as far as like the pacing, when you go to this week's episode where now it's Joel and Ellie back on the road and it's pretty much just them, talking back and forth like the whole episode, not too much action. It just really like allows you to appreciate like what the show is actually doing and
Yeah.
really breaking down the psyche of a post-apocalyptic world. It's not necessarily about what's happening, it's just like people's response to it, because I feel like with Ellie asking like some of the big questions of like, why keep living then, like what's the point after she didn't necessarily kill nobody, but she shot somebody, what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like it's those, big questions that, the answers to it aren't simple, but they hit home because it's like the tension is at a point where it's like everybody can feel how they feeling, like because it's written all on their face, and it was like really really good. And like you said, the when once we got to the actual city and like they did the little hey, I need help, I was like, oh, I know exactly what's finna happen. Like we're
Yeah.
finna get active. Um, so it's crazy. It's crazy to see. I think my other favorite moment was between when they was in the car, and Ellie was like, Joel told Ellie like, we got a long way to go. You might as well catch some Z's, right? And she was like, I'm
Yeah,
not even tired. And in the cut, and she was gone. I was
he
like,
was
oh,
knocked.
she's a little kid, man. She's a little kid. And then the other was the knock knock jokes.
Yeah,
That was also like, well, it's not a knock knock joke, but you know what I mean. The
yeah,
quote,
yeah,
the dad jokes or whatever. Um, of having that moment be so sweet and then wake up with a gun in your face. I was like,
yeah.
oh,
I
this
do
joint
wish
is
that
lit.
episode gave us like a little bit more time, but they
Yeah.
stopped it knowing that they had something brewing next. So,
It was like
and the
a
only
week finna
thing
make
I
them
had,
sweat.
yeah, and the only thing I had knocked on this episode was I'm kind of wondering how come they're not showing it, making it as gruesome as it could be. Like they
Mm,
keep killing people off cam, or he's shooting someone from far away, and we're seeing them
right.
like raw. And I'm
Right.
like, dang, I thought this was HBO. Like,
True.
w-
True.
I just thought, we would actually see Joel go through with like knocking people's heads off.
I mean, yeah. I maybe it's just maybe it's the I didn't notice that until you just said that. Maybe
Yeah,
it's the
it happens a lot.
dang, it does. I'm trying to think of when he didn't do that, but it's pretty much happened every single time. It's like a struggle, and then like somebody looks away and bam, like it's looking at
Yeah,
somebody else. Like that's
because the
definitely
first
happened a lot.
episode, he was like punching the dude, so I was like, oh, we're
Right.
gonna get like aggressive, just like everything.
Right.
But no, like they purposely shy away from it. I'm like, ah, man, like just give us a little bit more savagery. I mean, we're
Yeah.
we're in this post-apocalyptic world, whatever you want to call it, and now we're interacting with humans. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, perfect avenue to get crazy, and they decided not to. So
Maybe it's not that type of show.
it may not be, but I
Maybe
I
they
need
just saving it for the what they call. Damn, I forgot the quadriceps.
yeah,
Quadriceps. Yeah, maybe they're saving
quar-
it for that.
yeah,
Cordyceps.
cordyceps, yeah,
Cordyceps. Yeah. Maybe they're just saving it for that because um even though like Ellie shot Cuz on Cam necessarily, and then Joel
it
finished him
was,
off, it was quick. It wasn't like a super gruesome thing, but I am waiting for those moments of like, because
ruthlessness.
if you think about it, in the game, you can choose how you fight. You could do a full stealth
Yeah,
mode, or you could go guns blazing and go crazy like that. So they have wiggle room in that sense, you
they
know.
do.
So it's
But
not,
even when I forgot her name already, came through in the picture and she shot the doctor, they did that
yeah,
off screen. Like I didn't
yeah.
understand. I
I,
didn't understand.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that one. I mean, it's
We'll,
like
we'll
the
see.
action.
We'll monitor it.
Yeah, I feel like the actions is still like the action scene is like it's still hype enough for me
Yeah,
personally. Because if I think of like anything like Star Wars,
yeah,
people be getting bodied in that joint, but it's never like no gruesome way for the most part. Like you might sever
yeah,
somebody joint off, but it's instantly cartelized or whatever, you
yeah.
know. So there's that. But in this joint, you're right. There's not a lot of blood. It's just strange. It's very strange. Um, what? I got a quick question.
Hmm.
Because I don't remember. But or you don't have to answer because this could be a spoiler. For
Oh,
people because I don't remember. Why was the ground breathing? Was there a bloater under there,
so
or is
I
that
I
somebody
think it
under there?
is. I thought it was another type of
Like I
uh
said, a nest or a hive or something.
like a bloater or something,
Yeah.
something else. I did not know though. So
Okay.
I sat there and was like,
I ran it
is
back like
this
three
new?
times. Yeah.
I was like, I really don't know what this is. So I feel
Okay.
like I'm missing something from the game that was clearly there.
Hmm.
And I'm just forgetting it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, certain scenes really poke out to me, but only once I see like different shorts. So I'm like, oh yeah, that was in the game. So
Right.
I remember it.
Right.
But I don't know. If it is something new, that's gonna be interesting. But I'm thinking it was in the game and I forgot it. But
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
Cause like from my memory, I don't like with what's his name, Henry. I think I
Hmm.
don't remember nothing about him, like or the reason, like why they were leaving or outcast or whatever. Like when she was talking about like who's with him and all this other stuff, right? Um, but I do remember them being brothers and then them having their whole arc with Ellie and Joel. So I'm excited to see that next. But I just thought it was funny seeing like I noticed like when Ellie was like, I noticed you don't hear so well on whatever ear, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna wake up, and he ain't wake up. He ain't wake up at all, or they went in a different way
Snuck up.
or something. I don't know, but
They definitely went a different way, but snuck up
yeah.
on him easy.
And when she was like, Joel, I was like, oh, it's here. I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it. It's super good. But I'm super excited for this jump because it's like when they take those liberties of, you know, making that's why I feel like this show has so much potential of being way better than the game, bro. Because of like they can have that liberty of like having, you know, an hour and 15 episode and then a 45 one next, but you don't feel that. Like I didn't feel like that episode was short at all.
Yeah, it was shorter, but
Mm-hmm.
it does not seem short ever whenever I'm watching it. It just
Nah.
I'm like brand new episode.
Yeah. But did you say another one comes out on Friday
Yeah, I think they're moving it up
because
the
of the
release
Super
date
Bowl?
of the Super Bowl. So
Mm,
I'm pretty happy about that because I could
yeah.
always use more episodes.
Yeah. That'll be lit. That'll be lit. But
And it's a smart because
say
I don't
again.
think it's gonna be a smart move because
Oh
more
yeah.
people watch it ASAP and be like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, did y'all watch The Last of Us? Hey,
Yeah.
Super Bowl ain't on yet, but turn that on."
Well, me,
Yeah.
me, gotta watch Rihanna. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
But you got anything else for The Last of Us before we get head up out of here?
Nah, solid entry. Really happy. Episode 3 is groundbreaking, great TV. And if
Yeah.
anyone jumped away from episode 3, they lying. They coming back to
I
episode
cried.
4. They're
I
gonna
was gonna cry, bro. That don't hurt me.
I mean, I was like, because in the game, it's not official. It's only
Yeah.
hinted at because of the Ellie scene when she's in the car and she sees the magazine.
Right.
That like, oh, Frank was probably his lover. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think Frank also writes like something saying like I hate you, I've always hated you, or something like that
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Yeah.
But it was like implied that they were together in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And to see this version is exactly what you said and predicted, that
Yeah.
it has the liberty to actually show a full-on side storyline that you can only like get snippets in games and
Yeah.
understanding in the games, and like, oh wow, that's a cool nugget, but now we
Yeah.
actually get to experience it, see it, pretty much live it, because
Mm.
I mean they were together for like what 13 years or so, and
Yeah.
then like all the way till they're, because we did like two jumps, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think it was two big jumps
Yeah.
when they met, when they were uh like 10 years later, and then like
Right
plus
before.
20 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
right before Joel and Ellie get there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just incredible. And I hope this is a great, this is the gateway to many, many possibilities in the future.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
And we got season 2. They dropped that too. I forgot. They already announced that. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod.
Ooh.
But
Well,
they already.
I've never played the next one, so maybe I'll try to get both of them up.
Yeah. I've seen the first one. I stopped watching after a certain part in the second one. I won't say what,
Okay.
but you know what it is. Well, Chris,
I don't know.
what you? Oh, well, you'll find out one day. One day you'll find out. I
Okay.
won't say what it
Okay.
is. I won't
All
say
right.
what it is. That's something that like.
I'll go play it, and then I'll
No,
go
you
get one.
won't. No, you won't.
I,
He lying, y'all. Like Chris don't.
maybe won't. You
Chris
know,
don't
I'm
finish
about to get
games,
that
bro.
little Hogwarts thing. I was looking at that. I was like, dang, I only have to drop some money on Hogwarts.
Oh yeah. Legacy jank. That joint's like
Yeah,
that. That joint's like that.
I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
Yeah. Did it already come out or
I think it
no?
comes out next week for
I'm
real.
about to
But
say. I think
a
the
lot of
pre.
people were getting on it
That's what I was gonna
on
say.
Twitter.
I feel like the embargo just opened up, so people can make
Uh,
content on it now.
okay,
But
okay, that's why.
I don't know if the game has officially released yet, though. You know?
I'm thinking it's next week.
Yeah. But Chris, what you geeked about, man?
It's a little bit different this time.
Okay, okay.
Uh, you inspired me
No way.
to branch out,
Okay, what's up?
but it's a little different. I bought my first manga,
Oh, okay. Pop it
and
up in the
you
comments. Let's
know,
go.
I I love Spy Family when it dropped, and it's gonna be a while till they get the new episodes coming out
Mm-hmm.
season 2. So I went ahead. I was in Target, and I was like, "Oh, this is the new episodes." Went
Lit,
ahead and got it. I'm gonna start the collection, and
lit, lit.
it's really cool because it kind of reminds me of Last of Us. I thought it was like a direct relation to the anime,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's like slightly
That always
different, but
happens in mangas, I feel like.
yeah, but still, it's still in the general same realm of what's happening. Like you're not gonna miss the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I played the anime while reading an episode
Yeah,
because for the first chapter was the last episode.
yeah.
And the things they were saying was much different, and certain things were better in the anime, certain things were better in it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just happy that I bought it and gave it a chance for once because I've
That's
never
lit.
actually bought one in my life. So
That's
I'm
lit.
geeked about that. I
Yeah.
haven't finished it yet either.
Invest
So
in your hobbies, y'all. Invest in your
yeah,
hobbies. It's
for
a
sure.
great feeling. I literally tweeted about that today.
Yeah,
Um,
this man inspiring.
yeah, but
Oh, this way. What you geeked about, G?
I'm like, who over there? It's like, no. Um, yeah. So what am I geeked about, man? What am I geeked about? I
Uh-oh.
always say like 8 things. I'm trying to pick one. Um, there's a lot to be geeked about, man. There is a lot.
Is there?
It really is. Um,
Got Ant-Man in 2 weeks too.
I mean that's staple though. That's
Uh,
staple. Um, okay, I got one. This is
Uh-oh.
a direct correlation to what I just said, right? So, if you haven't known or haven't, tuned into like a lot of content I used to do. I used to do a lot of gaming, right? And I've been playing Call of Duty a lot, you know, and I finally feel like I hit my groove with that joint. Like I feel superior when I'm playing that joint. Like as far as like, don't matter
Superior.
what gun I'm using, like in the midst of like me trying to get a camo. Like I'm not one of those like people that like try to beat the game as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I play my games here and there, and then that be that. But I got my optic skin in that joint like the other day, and I was super excited. Like I feel good. I feel like when I'm doing that, I'm like really like that, cause it's like we're gonna have this joint for 2 years. And I was like, I've been wanting to get it, but I was like, man, I might as well do it. You know what I'm saying? I might as well do it. But oh no, I know exactly what I'm geeked about. See, I had to think about it. All right. So I'm officially DreamCon bound 2023. Bought my ticket for that joint. You know, um, that is what I'm geeked about. You know, so I can't believe I forgot that. I knew it was something else, but I'm geeked about the game too. You know what I'm saying? And then I finished my Power Rangers and Ninja Turtle comics. Finished both of those today. And I
Nice.
really like that. I really like comic books, bruh. Like it's weird. It's weird that I just never knew that, and now I do. Cause
Yeah.
it's like it's just short enough to where it's like it keeps my attention span. Cause I'm not a big reader yet, but it's just enough. And then it's just like it's like a new present every week. You
Mhm.
know, it's a great content loop. And it's different because I'm not reading comics online. I'm not there to that point yet where I was like, nah, I gotta see what the latest issue. I need the physical. You know, that's what also gets me excited. So it's like collecting those as well. And
Yeah.
I got my little baggies, little comic book baggies. Was that Spy Family? That was like one, or is like the, or you gonna get the rest of them, like the first season, or you gonna,
I may get the
or
first season, like I save it for like a Christmas thing, drop it down, so then I have all
right,
of it. But this one's 7, so
all right. But this is like the start of the new season.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm excited for you, bro. I'm geeked
yeah.
about that too.
And it's funny because I opened it up
Yeah.
and I was like, dang, this is the next episode. I'm not happy. Like I'm like, oh man. It's like
Yeah.
when you see the episode and you're like, dang, I have to wait next week. That didn't do it for me. And then the
Right.
very next one, I was hyped. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that was so good. I'm glad I bought this. Like it
Yeah.
immediately justified it. So
Yeah. And then cause like now since I finished those, I don't know when it's only 5 of those Mighty Morphin and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones.
you
So
gotta get that whole
I'm gonna
story.
get the whole joint, and I'm super
Uh,
excited about that. And I know how to store them now. And then I next up I'm gonna read Miles Morales. That's my next one. And then probably like this weekend I'll go get the new Black Panther that's out, and then see if there's another Miles in that joint, or see what they got in there. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah,
because that's just what I do now. But yeah, bro, it's lit. It's lit.
it
It's
is.
lit.
It
It's
is,
super lit.
man.
But we're gonna get ahead and get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to this whole episode. If you stayed till the end, we should be hit that like button, hit the subscribe button earlier in the pod, but you know, I always end up forgetting. But if you listen to this on your favorite audio platforms, rate the podcast, leave a comment. Appreciate everybody that listens and watches. And yeah, man, appreciate y'all. We see y'all next week, man. Stay geeked. Peace.